talked a little bit about how you started swimming with your mom and how she kind of taught you how to swim all the strokes and stuff like that. And you're a person who is really good technically, like in all the strokes. Like I'm
Oh,
always
thank
asking
you.
questions to you, you know that. And if you could tell us a little bit about how your technique development was, like did you start focusing more on the details when you were older, or since a young age you were always focusing a lot on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think my mom, that's what she's meant to do, is like teach people how
Hmm.
to swim. She has her own it's called Safe Splash Swim Labs, where she literally teaches babies how to swim and like toddlers, and then she also goes up to like triathletes, club swimmers, and like she really focuses on technique. She has like such a good mind when it comes to that, and she's very specific. So I don't know, I think when I was a kid swimming in club, like that was always a priority, was like, high elbows or like strong
Hmm.
catch. Like I've always focused on that. And then once I
Hmm.
get older, it gets very specific. Like instead of here, it's here. Like, like
Hmm.
minuscule. That can be
Hmm.
overwhelming sometimes, but I
Yeah.
think I always focused on maintaining perfect technique as a kid. And so now it's
Hmm.
like kind of fun to like nitpick little pieces of my stroke to find like little ways to make them better. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I would say I've always, yeah, and she would yell at me too. Like she had no
Yeah.
problem yelling at me as a kid to like,
Yeah.
do a certain technique. But she had a great eye for that stuff.
Before touching more on college stuff and also your preparation for the Olympic Games, now that I mentioned the technical work, you were always really good at dolphin kicks. Like, were you always like standing out underwater? Because I mean, you're one of the fastest of all time to fly in yards. You have like the second fastest short course yards to fly, the 137, which is crazy fast. And I watched the video. You were going to the 15-meter mark, 15 yard mark. I was like, man,
Yeah.
he's not getting tired. How does he do that? Were you, you know?
Yeah, see, I think about that race and I just noticed everything that I did wrong, and I was definitely supposed to manage that last 25 better, and I
Mhm.
I was only supposed to take one breath and I ended up taking two, and then yeah.
Oh,
But
you're a perfectionist. You're a
because I
perfectionist.
was I was I was dying.
Yeah.
But I remember when it clicked for me, I was doing like a 50 back at a Kentucky State meet. I think I was
Mhm.
like 12 and under maybe, and I was not the favorite to win. And so when we took our marks and I went, I dove way too deep and I had no idea what to do. And so I just started to panic and like kick like,
Yeah.
and there were no officials standing on the
Mhm.
15, because like what little kid is going to kick out to 15, when
Yeah.
they're 12 and under. And so I remember coming up first, like you could see the other two guys next to me, and like I just went. I ended up winning and breaking the state record, I think. And the
Damn.
kid who I beat, his parents had filmed it and were showing it to the officials, saying that I broke 15, I broke 15.
Yeah.
But in the video, it's like I came up at 15, but they were just trying to complain about it, showing the officials, but they couldn't call it
Yeah.
because nobody was standing there. And
Mhm.
so ever since that day, I
That's
was like,
crazy.
man, maybe this is something that I can work on. And so ever since that day, I worked on my underwater so much. Like in club swimming, we did so
Mhm.
many underwaters. In college, I never missed an underwater in college, and I'm like so proud to
Mhm.
say that, because we had some pretty
Mhm.
tough underwater sets. So yeah, I don't know. It's just always been a focus of mine since I was young, since that day, and I've really tried to perfect it now. Like I'm not gonna kick to 15 on every single wall and everything that we do. Like I really only focus towards the end of
Mhm.
the practice, or like in the main set, or if an underwater set, like that's when I focus on it. But like
Mhm.
in warm up, if we're not doing
Mhm.
underwaters, like I'm not gonna kick to 15. I'm just gonna like
Mhm.
warm up everything else, and then eventually the lungs will warm up too.